Hey, so I wanted to make this video not just because I support the Stop Killing Games movement and the initiative through the European Citizens Initiative by itself, but because I think it represents a backlash against a more broad economic trend that I find quite disturbing. That being the relationship that we have towards ownership, of subscriptions, of everything requiring online access. And I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to just kind of briefly go over what Stop Killing Games is. I will link to the petition in the description of the video, as well as to Ross Scott's YouTube channel, Accursed Farms, who he kind of spearheaded this. He's not an official leader of it because he's not technically an EU citizen, and you have to be an EU citizen to sign this. But there's also a UK one, and he just kind of spearheaded it for the EU, not just because he lives in Europe, but also because legally speaking, there's probably the best case for resistance against this practice in the European Union. And so, even if it would not fly at all in America right now, if there's success in Europe, it could influence how game developers or publishers, more specifically, interact with this in other regions. But, anyways, let me just read from this. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are effectively sold as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence. It is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Over the past year, we have successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia, and have brought forth petitions for new law on this problem to various countries. A list of actions taken to date can be viewed here. As of 2025, most consumer action on this matter is concluded, and we are awaiting decisions on it from several governments. However, there are a few remaining avenues left where people can participate if they're eligible. So essentially, the issue is that we all know back in the day, it used to be you bought a game and it was done, and it was yours. You owned it. Now, of course, you have the issue where games get patched now. They're so large, and publishers or developers are getting lazy, or their time management is so poor that games get released unfinished. And that's fine that you can patch them or release updates and DLC. But the bigger issue is, of course, with online only games. So the catalyst for this was the racing game The Crew, which was shut down about 10 years ago, I think, or around that long ago. It was an open world racing game, and Ubisoft decided to pull the plug on it, and you can never play it again. And of course, this brings about the issue is, okay, if the video game is not really just a standard good anymore, where you buy it, it's yours. I buy an apple, it is my apple. But it's not really acting like a good faith service either, because if I'm paying for a service, if I'm paying someone to clean my house or something, okay, I'm paying somebody who will do this for me for this for this amount of money for this set amount of time. Whereas with this, it's okay, we're gonna kind of act like this is a good, but we can just pull the plug on it anytime we want, with no compensation to the customer, with no reimbursement, no end of life plan. Because it's not just, okay, you're taking this away from the people that bought it, but it's, developers, work tirelessly often on these games. And there's a lot of artistic integrity and cultural value to this, as silly as it can sound with a lot of games. But in general, it's the fact that, okay, now you have this system where this practice where a publisher can just be like, this isn't getting us enough money anymore, so we're just gonna pull the plug. It's gone forever. Now, I think the answer to this, or what is wanted to be done, is that this initiative's there. So, hey, maybe we can take legal action against this. So say you can't just do this because essentially this is stealing, or this is, false advertisement. This is a you give someone, it's like you give someone a car, or you leased someone a car, but acted like they bought it, and then a year in, you can just be like, well, we're just going to take the car from you and destroy it. In one of his videos, Ross Scott made the point of there's a difference between, okay, not a lot of people are playing on the server anymore. It's not a popular game anymore. But, you could just kind of release the source code if you don't want to support it anymore, or do a number of things that at least lets the game, if you don't want to support the game, you can still, publishers can still keep it alive. And Ross makes the joke of it's the difference between putting grandpa in a nursing home and taking him out back and shooting him. One of these obviously is a lot more reasonable than the other, but the take grandpa back and shoot him seems to be the option that a lot of publishers take, and it's a disturbing trend. So yeah, right now, as of now, I think there's about a week left to sign it. So if you are a citizen of an EU country, you can sign it. Ross has made numerous points that, hey, they have had issues with, and it hurts the legitimacy of it, because this is going to be addressed by EU Parliament. And the fact that you have a lot of you had a lot of faked signatures really kind of harms that. So as of right now, there is about 1.4 million signatures. You still have about a week left to sign it, I think. So yeah, I will link it in the description, along with Ross's YouTube channel, Accursed Farms. He makes great stuff. He was talking about this stuff for about a decade before this, anyway. And so yeah, he's doing the Lord's work on this. He's underrated, undersubscribed. So yeah, check his stuff out. And more broadly, what this represents, because it's not just video games. It's the fact that we can all see how economies are moving away from ownership and more towards renting. Less people are buying houses, more people are renting apartments. Less people are buying cars, more people are leasing them. People are now attached to subscription services for everything. You're getting everything delivered. You're doing less things for yourself. You're owning less. You're saving less, because people, not only, if you want me to go full boomer for a moment, a lot of young people can't really make smart financial decisions because they haven't been taught that. But also, they're being horribly exploited by a few massive corporations, so that young people are now just financing everything and not actually understanding that, no, it's better to save money and then just buy things, and rather than have to pay later because of interest rates. And really, the whole thing is predatory and evil. And with, of course, student loan debt, credit card debt, all of these different types of debt being at astronomical highs, well, of course, being a good Catholic, this is a clear case of usury. This is keeping people as debt slaves. And so this is making me sound like an evil Marxist, isn't it? But this isn't about hating the free market. Of course, I like generally the free market. If you really want my economic views, see Pope Leo XIII and Rerum Novarum, who addressing the idea of, hey, there's a lot of exploitation being done by unfettered corporate greed, and it really needs to be addressed, or else we're going to have something even worse, i.e. socialism or Marxism. And it's something that it seems like, because he chose his namesake, Pope Leo XIV is also concerned about in the digital age. And so it's really the more broad trend of where our economy is going, and the fact that everything has an ad, everything has a subscription fee to it, AI is taking over everything. Subscriptions are getting so bad that you have YouTubers advertising for services you can pay for, that their sole purpose is to figure out what subscriptions you are paying for that you don't even know you are. And so, this is an attack essentially on human dignity, on consumer rights, on just basic decency. And this isn't capitalism. This is not a free market. This is serfdom. This is the mentality of you will own nothing and you'll be happy. This is you are no longer an independent human being. You are not a free man. You are a ward of massive corporations or the government. And that's essentially the option if you have unfettered capitalism, or what the horrifying backlash to this would be Marxism, which would basically have all the same problems, if not worse, because it wouldn't be large corporations doing this, it would be the state. And neither of these organizations or neither of these institutions have any real ethical or moral concerns. And so it's why I support initiatives like this, of why I want more backlash of, we're sick of companies thinking that they can just fleece people, steal from them, and be dishonest like this. So yeah, that's just kind of my views. I will put various links in the description. God bless everybody. We should fight this. We should, yeah,